What's up, guys? Welcome to another Q&A Saturday, the show where I answer your questions, as good or as weird as they are. And also skip over the ones that ask me if I'm going to be watching a certain show. Let's get started. Alright, first one comes from Celtis? Not sure which. What are your thoughts on Zareff and Acnologia as villains so far? Well, Acnologia we haven't seen a lot of. Neither have we seen a lot of Zareff, though we've seen him more than we've seen Acnologia. I get the feeling that Zareff is a bit more of a tragic villain, just based on the way that he was introduced and the way that things roll. And he's got some sort of history with Natsu, whether it be something forgotten or something through prophecy or something familial. I'm not sure which. And as for Acnologia, I just don't like him. He's a bad guy. Bad guy. And I have no idea. Well, they were saying that Acnologia in the Grand Magic Games arc used to be a dragon slayer, and now he became a dragon. So I don't know. He could be a tragic character, but I really don't know. I guess we'll find out. But as of right now, I feel like Zareff is a tragic character, and I just don't like Acnologia that much. Next up, Incredibly Gay asks, your name gets me every time, man. What are some things you want to see in Ruby Volume 4? I want to see Blake recover from what happened, whether it be through her aura or through maybe General Ironwood giving her a robot arm. I really like the idea of that. I think it'd be super, super awesome. And I want to see more of Salem, which I know her name now. I want to know more about Salem and what kind of what her deal is. And I also want to see all the main characters all the characters from Team Ruby reunite. And I want to know what happened to Ozpin. No, not like I'm asking a lot, even though I kind of am, but I want to see those things. So I think that really sums it up. But I think the biggest thing is just how each of the characters have changed dramatically. Oh, actually, speaking of which, my wallpaper just turned to a Ruby wallpaper. But speaking of the whole, how each of the characters have changed dramatically, I think this is going to be a big changing point and a big growing point for a lot of these characters. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so Enful Kasem, I guess, asks if I can watch Assassination Classroom, which it's on my list and I plan to watch it. I really do. It looks like a really good show. Plus, I think there's a season 2 coming out of it, so I'm going to try to. I think I'll try to time that so I can watch the season 2, but we'll see. And as for why I don't do reactions on Saturday, originally it was Saturday and Sunday I didn't do videos at all, nothing, and it was just because I wanted a break for the weekend. I'd like to, have 2 days off, and then I decided to do Q&As on Saturday, so Sunday is the only day that I have off. But there's some days I just need a break, and I still do recordings on this day. I still record on Saturday. I just don't post them. So I do Monday through Friday, and that's just how I do it. Alrighty, Seamaster asks, what ending did you think was the best of these 3 anime? Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Code Geass, or Death Parade? I really like Fullmetal Alchemist's ending the best, just because it was drawn they were kids drawing it, and the music fit perfectly because it was a very kind of calm tone, and it picked up, but it ran through all the characters really nicely, so I really enjoyed that. So Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood's ending, I think, is one that I like the best out of those 3. So Death Parade's was pretty good, and so is Code Geass's, but Fullmetal Alchemist's takes it. Cedric Plays asks, why do you never mention Dragon Ball Z? Do you not like the show? I think it has a great dub. No, I like Dragon Ball Z. In fact, I love Dragon Ball Z. I watched it a lot as a kid. I think I just don't mention it because it never comes up. I never really think about it. And I also think because when I used to watch it as a kid, it was before I really knew what anime was. It was more of a cartoon for me at that point, so I watched it like a cartoon. And now that I know what anime is, it's still stuck in my mind as kind of the cartoon that I watched as a kid, whereas shows that I watched that I was aware were anime, I think those were a little different in my mind. Like I know it's all anime, but in my mind they're separate. So I think that's probably why I don't often mention Dragon Ball Z. I mean, clearly when I watched the abridged DBZ abridged and Cell was telling Vegeta, "I want you to hit me as hard as you can." And you know, Vegeta used Final Flash. I knew what he was going to use because I've seen it, and I've seen him use. I saw that whole fight originally, and I don't know, but I have seen it, so don't worry about that. Next up, Vladski asks, "Do you like Studio Ghibli's Studio Ghibli movies?" I've honestly not seen one. I really should. And what are your favorite games from when you were a child? I played like video games. Let's stick with video games. My favorite video games as a child is I used to play Punch-Out a lot. I didn't have a lot of video games as a kid, so I played like Punch-Out. I played Mario, and I played Duck Hunt. I would go over to my friend's house. We'd play. He had an N64. Lots of my friends had N64s, and we would play stuff like Super Mario World. Is it World? Super Mario 64. What am I saying? Play Super Mario 64 as well as GoldenEye and things like that. So, but I'd say my favorite out of that group was Punch-Out because I still have the muscle memory to play Punch-Out to the point where I can beat most of the players or most of the characters in the game. So, yeah, Punch-Out. Next up, Karyu asks, "Do you play anime-related games and why?" I mean games of animes you like or J-Stars type games. I used to play DBZ, like Dragon Ball Budokai, and that's really about it. That's all I've ever played. And why? Because when I would play them, it was actually over at a friend's house playing it on his like PlayStation 2 or something. So, yeah. Next up, Noah Maya asks, "Are there any anime you're ashamed you enjoyed? If there is, which one is it?" No, in all seriousness, I've not seen that yet. I'm going to, and I'm just kind of psyching myself up. And my channel's growing too fast. I was going to do it at some point as a thank you for 5,000 subs, but I didn't. I'm still trying to muster the courage to watch it. As for one that I'm ashamed that I enjoyed, I'm not really ashamed of it. Like, saying the name kind of makes it seem weird. The show Maria the Virgin Witch was actually a phenomenal show, I think, personally. I enjoyed it. It's just when you have to say the name to somebody and they kind of sit there and go, "The what?" That's where it's kind of like, "Well, it's called Maria the Virgin Witch. You should totally watch it." That kind of thing. That's when it's kind of weird. But no, I enjoyed it. I'm not really ashamed that I enjoyed it because I think it deserves more credit than it got. But the name's weird, that's why. Alright, Meme Bear asks, "Do you know what Boku no Pico is?" And will you react to it as a subscriber special? Actually, I just said in the last question that I was. I just need to muster the courage. And any embarrassing stories from when you were in school, or just any at all? I'm not picky. I took a swing at some kid one time and punched a girl right in the boob. That's really all. That was pretty embarrassing, but the embarrassment was covered up more by the fact that I was in trouble. So, there you go. Next comes from Giovanni Guard. Always gonna mess that up. If you had to choose which character situation would you rather... Oh, if you had to choose which character situation would you rather be in? Kaneki or Karia from Fate Zero? I would take Kaneki's just because, as of right now, Kaneki's still alive as far as I know. So I'd prefer that. Besides, I think it'd be cool to be a ghoul, apart from the living in fear thing. I think as long as you can learn to adapt, I think it'd be pretty cool, even though he is in a very tragic situation. And I'm only caught up with the anime for Season 2 and the manga for where season 2 left off. And yes, I know the manga diverged and all that kind of stuff, but that's where I'm, not the manga, the anime diverged from the manga and all that kind of stuff, but that's where I'm caught up to. So I don't know actually currently if he's really alive. I know he got pretty messed up in the manga, like wrecked by Armon. Was it Armon? Armon? No, Armon, no. Wow, I can't remember the guy's name. It's been so long since I've watched that or read it, but I know he got wrecked pretty bad. And then in the anime, it just cuts to black, so we have no idea. But I think as long as he's still alive, you know, yeah, I think as long as he's still alive, I'll take him over for Karya. All right, Muhammad Moradi. Even though you don't answer my questions about Fairy Tail manga anymore, here's some other questions. Well, I will prove you wrong, sir. Which character from Fairy Tail do you want to know more about? I think, in all honesty, I think Loxus would be a more an interesting character to learn more about, like how he got his Dragon Slayer ability. That would be really interesting. That or what's her name? The girl that was turned into a snake by Cobra, who's now one of the bartenders at the guild. I think she would also be a very interesting character to learn more about. And Mavis, but I think Fairy Tail Zero is going to take care of that. So I'd say those three characters: Loxus, the girl who turned into a snake, and Mavis. Even though Fairy Tail Zero is probably going to take care of that. And then, what are your concerns about Fairy Tail so far? Concerns about Fairy Tail so far. I don't have a lot of concerns about Fairy Tail, actually. But if I were to pick a concern about Fairy Tail currently, I would say it would be, because right now I'm in a filler arc that everybody knows about. And I'm concerned about how they're going to resolve the whole thing with the celestial spirits and see how that goes. Yeah. And then, if you want to answer this question, which chapter are you in? Wait, what chapter are you in, I guess, Fairy Tail manga? Where am I at in the Fairy Tail manga? I can't remember. I think I stopped just after the Grand Magic Games, but I cannot remember. It's been a while since I've read the manga. So I think it was just after the Grand Magic Games that I stopped, because I try to keep on pace manga and anime where I'm at in the anime. So once this arc is over, I'm going to start reading again. But yeah, that's where I am so far, is right after the Grand Magic Games. Alright, Cameron Clegg asks, speaking of manga collection, what are your favorite volume covers and why? Oh, no, I picked one up today. Yesterday. Hold on. I have two. This, the black edition of the Death Note. This. And where was it? I can't find it. No, this one's not bad, but this is not what I was looking for. It was, it's not really, like, the design is cool for Noragami's books, but it's like the texture they use, like the material they use for the covers I really like, and I don't know where it is, so I'm gonna have to find it. But, yeah, Death Note, Black Edition, and Noragami's book covers. I like those. And this one's not too bad. I like this one. I like all the covers, just the art that they use, but yeah, this one's a good one as well. But the next part of the question is also, this is kind of a will you... Let me close this. There we go. Also, this is a kind of a will you read / watch/read question, but do you think you'll ever read My Hero Academia? There are only 3 volumes of it out here right now, but I think you'll enjoy it a lot. Sure. I mean, I'm always looking for new stuff, so sure. I mean, is it an anime right now? If it's a manga, then I'll just get it and read it. If it's an anime, I'll have to put it on my list. But, yeah, sure, why not? Now, Cedric Plays has another question. Another 2 questions. Who do you think would look worse, Goku bald or Natsu bald? Ooh, look worse? I think Goku would look worse bald. Is that like Super Saiyan 5 or like Super Saiyan God 2 or something? Like he goes bald instead of his hair changing color. I think it would be worse for Goku because like how would he go Super Saiyan? His hair has to change. Would it grow back? Or like I think Goku would look worse. And then second, I think Natsu would cut his just shave his head because he could at some point, honestly. That'd be interesting. And then second question, who do you think is the hottest character in Fairy Tail? I like Urza. Urza, I think. It'd be a tie between Urza and Mira. One of those two. I'm skipping over Lucy because they just try too hard to make her look, as fan service favorable as possible. The Great Killer Aria, messed that up probably. Tokyo Ghoul Season 3? Yeah, I know, right? It's weird. It's like a thing or something. Next up, nightshadex. Hello again. I was the one who made the fan art of you with your ruby weapon. So 3 questions. I like how you preface it with your reason for asking 3 questions. Okay, let's go. If you had a yandere girlfriend like and she was like the most perfect girl you ever met, would you stay with her? Well, I think the most perfect girl I ever met wouldn't be a yandere, just a thought. So that if she was, I mean, if we get along, as long as we get along and it's nothing super threatening, like if it was like where it was like, I spend a little bit of time with somebody else of the opposite sex and like she loses her mind, then no, absolutely not. But yeah, I mean, if it was the most perfect girl I've ever met, then yeah, I'd have no problem with it. Second question, who's your favorite hero/villain? Oh, who's your favorite hero and villain and saga from the DBZ franchise? That is easy. Goku for the hero. Goku for the hero. Boo and the Boo saga. My personal favorite. I don't know why. Just resonates with me. I love that series and that saga. So there you go. And question 3, the last question and possibly the most important one ever. Do you like Nikos? I don't know if it's the most important one ever. I don't know. I mean, if you're going by the fact that they're like a race of cat people, then I don't discriminate, sure, but like, you do you, man, whatever, I guess. Yeah, I don't really have a straight question for that. I don't know. Next question. Next question is from SoraRose, and it is, what is your top 10 favorite Vocaloid songs? Or 5 if that's hard. It's not hard. I think I'm just going to do that because of time. Favorites in no particular order. Lost Time Memories, Outer Science. So 2 already right out of Mecha City Actors. Rolling Girl is actually a really good one. Echo is another really good one. And Insanity. Insanity is my favorite by far, but those there. So Lost Time Memories, Lost Time Memories, Outer Science, Rolling Girl, Echo, and Insanity. So there you go. All right, so this is coming from a lot of people, so I'm just going to clarify it right now. I am going to watch Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, but I am not going to do it immediately. I'm going to watch them once I am caught up with Erased, and I'm watching that on a weekly basis. So just be patient with me. I said I was going to do it this way because I wanted to kind of diversify what I'm watching and kind of catch up on at least something from this season. So I picked Erased as the one I'm doing from this season. So calm it down. We'll get it taken care of. Don't you worry your little heads. Next up comes from JoeSon, asking, if you could control or rule an anime world, what anime would that be? No Game, No Life. And I'll tell you why. It's because if I could rule the world of No Game, No Life, that would mean that I would have beaten blank, and that would have been awesome if I could beat blank, which means that I am more intelligent than both Shiro and Sora. So I would take the world of No Game, No Life. Next one comes from Hayaku Ion, and it's, what anime that you've watched in dub that you'd rewatch in sub? Say No Game, No Life. If you're asking if I go back and watch dub shows in sub, I do that a lot more often than you think. I even do it the other way around, where I watch the subbed episodes and I go to dub after I finish it. I've done it with No Game, No Life. I've done it with Death Parade. I watched Death Parade in the sub, and then I switched over and watched it in the dub afterwards, and they were both incredible. Like, they were both really good shows in general. I was amazed by the dub, and the sub was, obviously the sub was great, but the dub was actually really good. Dragon Ball Z I've watched in the dub and the sub. Didn't really like the sub version just because Goku's voice has a particular ring in the dub that it doesn't in the sub. Fairy Tail I tried watching in sub, couldn't do it. Another show I've watched in dub that I rewatched in subbed. I rewatched SAO in sub, and they're both good. There are moments that I agree the sub is superior to the dub in SAO, especially in SAO 2. But yeah, I think that's I rewatch. I do that a lot more than you all think. Canadian Timbits, what was your first anime you watched and why? I think I answered this question already. I want to say I did, but I'll do it again. The first anime that I ever watched was Dragon Ball Z. But I didn't, like I said earlier in this same video, I didn't watch it and think of it as an anime. I thought of it as a cartoon. So the first show that actually got me into anime as a genre was Soul Eater. So that's what really got me into it, and I've kind of followed shows like that ever since. But when I started doing my channel, I definitely diversified what I enjoyed watching and diversified what I watched in general. So yeah. So I can't remember if I made this exception already in episodes, or in this episode, but if I haven't made this exception already, here's the exception to the will you watch question. So hooray, I'm making another exception. The Great Killer Akibari, however you say that, Akibari? I don't know. Will you watch Tokyo Ghoul Season 3 and Attack on Titan Season 2 when it comes out? Yes, and I will also watch Seven Deadly Sins Season 2 when it comes out. Please stop asking! Alright, class fact. He asks, or they ask, on what episode are you right now in Hunter x Hunter? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched it. And second one, could you please live react to episode? Dang it! You tricked me into a could you please watch. 26, 31, and 35 of Hunter x Hunter. Those episodes are legendary for the fans, please. Time will tell with Hunter x Hunter. I'm going to be totally, brutally honest. Hunter x Hunter is a pain in the ass to work with when it comes to that, because it is a strike magnet. So if this method that I'm using continues to work through several anime, Hunter x Hunter might work, and I might redo Hunter x Hunter and re-upload it. But as of right now, well, the other thing is my data cap. I'm uploading smaller series first, and I'm probably going to upload Hunter x Hunter in chunks through several months, because I don't want to blow away my data cap. And if I get a chance to upload at a place that has decent internet without a cap, then I will absolutely start re-uploading all those episodes. But until then, I'm going to wait on Hunter x Hunter. Next question comes from Donald Drump. How often will you upload to that riff.tv site? I'm not sure yet. I'm still working it into my workflow. In fact, I'm going to be doing an episode. I'm going to be uploading something today for that site. So there is that. But yeah, it really just depends on how I can integrate it into my workflow. I'm going to be uploading some other stuff though. If you're following me there, thank you. And if not, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to try to work it into my workflow. And it wouldn't be a Q&A Saturday if the last question wasn't from Monkey Gaming 334. I challenge you to read this as fast as you can. I'll time it. No, here, I'll time it for you. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? If Chuck Norris could chuck wood, then how much wood could Chuck Norris chuck wood? How much wood would Chuck Norris chuck wood if the woodchuck chucked wood? And so how much wood could Chuck Norris chuck if a woodchuck could chuck? Meaning if the woodchuck could chuck, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck Norris if he chucked the woodchuck, which chucks the wood? There's your time. Actually, I think it's over on this side. I can't remember. I put it somewhere on the screen. So there you go. Thank you all very much, as always, for coming over here and checking out me answering your questions. I hope you guys are really enjoying this Q&A Saturday. It's always fun to see what you guys come up with for questions, especially Monkey Gaming. You are very devious in your comments and very funny in your comments, so thank you. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's at Frodo117. And I've got the Riff.tv thing, which is actually linked over on my main channel. A couple links down below that you can check out. And as always, I will see you folks in the next episode. Make sure to be there and have a good one.